just going to hang out right here till the warden clears his on in. By show of hands, anyone's first safari today? Anybody first time on the safari? A few hands. Welcome aboard, friends. Everybody else, welcome back. The good news is no two safaris are ever the same. The animals will always make sure of that. But it looks like we're about to get that all clear, so Twende, that means let's go. We're going to start the safari today here in the Little Ituri Forest. Lots of the animals out here like to use camouflage. It can be a little hard to see, but that's okay. Keep our eyes open, see what we can find. So over to our right side, it was kind of hiding behind a tree. That's an okapi. The okapi does look similar to a zebra if you look at its legs, but it's not related to a zebra whatsoever. Instead, its facial structure and its prehensile tongue make it a member of the giraffe family. The okapi is actually the only known relative to the giraffe. Lots of animals out here in the forest tend to be pretty shy. Oftentimes we see them hiding behind things like trees, bushes, rocks. We'll see them on top of hills. Next animal we're going to find is on top of a hill. It's a little hard to spot. Over to our right side, it's a bird. You can just see the back of its head and a little bit of its body. Black and white bird up there. That is a saddle-billed stork. It has a little yellow piece on its bill. Looks like a saddle. That's why it's called a saddle-billed stork. That bird stands all the way up. It stands about 5 feet tall, so it's just sitting down back there. Let's look up on the bank to our left side up against that wall. You'll see a black rhino. You just see the back of it. Move a bit closer to it. See the back of that black rhino up against that wall on our left side. So black rhinos can weigh up to 3,000 pounds, and unfortunately they are poached for their horn, which is made of keratin. That's the same material as our fingernails and hair. On our left side on top of the hill, those are bongos. Bongos are nicknamed ghosts of the forest just because they're seldom seen in the wild. And their horns curve inwards. That helps them move through vegetation quickly and effectively. Well, we had some pretty good luck in the forest today. Let's hope our luck continues as we move into the Safi River. And as we navigate through the river, keep your eyes on the water. You never know what we might find lurking around down there. So coming up out of the water to our right, there's a Nile hippo. It's taking a nap right now. So most of the time, they like to stay in or around the water, but on nicer days like today, we really love doing this. Sleeping next to the water. Those vultures are hanging out. So they have a mutualistic relationship. The birds, they eat the bugs off of the hippo. So they get kind of full from that, and the hippos are clean because of that. So that's why there are so many vultures in this area. Those lighter colored birds on the island and hanging out around the island to our left, those are pink-backed pelicans. They get the pink color on their skin from during mating season, and they live in colonies of 20 to 500 pairs of those pelicans per colony. So up to 1,000 birds in a single pelican colony, very densely packed. See if we can find any more hippos down here in this area. Not seeing much. So that was a really good look at that one hippo a little earlier. As we cross the bridge, look down to your left. Several Nile crocodiles in the area. Their jaws are extremely powerful. They can crush the bones of any of their prey. And although their diet primarily consists of fish, they have been known to attack just about anything that jumps in front of them, and that does include humans. You might be wondering why they're kind of colorful right now. They just got done with their checkup, so that's how the vets kind of mark them, determine which one is which. It comes off in a few days though. making the transition into the savannah. The savannah is home to some of Africa's most popular animals like giraffes, elephants, and lions. If you folks have ridden the safari before, you know that sometimes animals will stop in the road and delay the trip just a bit. That's probably what's going on right now, just kind of stop and go. That's okay, the animals always have the right of way. But before we enter the savannah, look to your right side, you'll see a strange looking tree. This is a baobab tree, also known as an upside down tree. It holds water very effectively within its trunk, and it can be leafless for around 9 months of the year. The baobab tree. We're going to see a few more of these as we move along and hopefully find a few animals along the way too. But I'll point those animals out as we come to them. So from closest to furthest away. First thing we'll notice out here on the savannah is the vegetation on the trees. It's relatively flattened out. That is because it's about as high up as an adult giraffe can reach. They love snacking on these trees most of the day, and sometimes they come out here at night. So several animals coming up to our right side. The first animal we will find is an animal with really big horns. It's called an Ankole cattle. And the horns are hollow with a honeycomb-like structure. They just provide for excellent blood circulation, so it keeps the cattle cooler on the hot days. There's that Ankole cattle on our right side. You see just how large the horns actually are. As I mentioned, their horns help cool them down, but if they ever get cold, they have a pouch of warm blood that is stored within their stomach to activate and heat them up. Over to our right side, a Maasai giraffe. Looks like it's waiting to get some food right about now. Doesn't really want to wait. Most giraffes will eat for around 20 hours a day, so that's no surprise there. And they sleep for about 30 minutes a day. Over to our left, these are African painted dogs, often confused as hyenas. They are not hyenas, but the painted dogs are the most successful hunters in Africa. They have a 90% success rate when it comes to hunting, just because of their ability to hunt as a group. And instead of barking like the dog you might have at home, these painted dogs make a noise that sounds similar to a squeak toy. African painted dogs. There's a baby giraffe to our right side too. So baby giraffes are born at around 6 feet tall, and they can learn how to walk within 30 minutes after being born. Very fast learners. On our left side, we're going to see the sable antelopes, those brown colored antelopes back in that corner. Both males and females have horns, but the coat of the male gets a bit darker as it matures. So if you see a group of those sables hanging out like that, most of the time the male does have a slightly darker coat. Looks like most of the giraffes are coming over here to get some food. That is a group of giraffes, and that is known as a tower. And the giraffes are just taking their time at the moment. If they want to, they can run at speeds of around 35 miles per hour. most of the time if you see one of those younger giraffes, you see just about all of them. They're all friends. Those are white-bearded wildebeests on our right side. Those silver antelopes. Looks like quite a few of them, but they can move in herds of up to 1.5 million at a time. So that means the only other mammal that can move in larger groups than wildebeests are humans. And when you translate the word wildebeest, it literally means wild beast. Pretty easy translation. Over to our right side, these antelopes that are kind of running around here, these are Patterson's elands. Look, that's an adult male in the end, and he just built himself a flower crown, trying to impress a mate. Really close look at this Maasai giraffe on our left, too. One more eland on our right side. Those elands can jump from 6 to 8 feet from a standstill. Very powerful antelopes. Straight ahead, some smaller antelopes. They will be on our right side. Those are springboks. The springbok is the third fastest land animal. That little springbok can jump 6 feet straight up in the air from a standstill. So it just kind of jump straight up in the air. They do something called pronking. And what that is, instead of running, they just continuously jump. So as soon as they land, they jump again. It's pretty cool to see. To our left, one more Maasai giraffe. It's found some food over here with a little less competition. Lots of animals very active this afternoon on the savannah, which is always a great sign to see. In this next area, sometimes we're lucky enough to see African elephants. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll find some elephants over there. We are in luck today, my friends. Look to your right side. An African elephant. Notice how its back is a bit dirty. They like to sling dirt up on their backs because dirt will act as a natural insect repellent and a natural sunblock for them. Elephants also eat at least 300 pounds of food per day. Most of the time more. That's just the minimum for them. On our left side, you'll see some monkeys back in that left corner. Those are mandrills. Mandrills are the largest of the monkey. They have a blue and red face that gets brighter as they get excited. Very curious animals, the mandrills. See if we can find any more elephants in this area with that one back there. And just that one elephant, it gives me a pretty good hint that that was a male. Male elephants are often solitary. That just means they don't really get along with other elephants too well. Occasionally they will form groups with other male elephants, but even that is a rare occurrence. Cool story about African elephants. Researchers in Kenya found out elephants are afraid of bees. And farmers were getting kind of tired of elephants barging through their fences, raiding their crops. They started lining their fences with beehives. That way they could protect their crops, they could sell the honey for profit, and the elephants didn't know it, but it helped them too. Because once they were on farmland, they were much more prone to poaching. So it was a situation where everyone benefited, all thanks to some bees. As we move underneath the next bridge, look at either side of the truck, you'll see that there are red clay pits, and there are tusk marks on the red clay, indicating elephants have been eating it. Red clay is high in nutrients and minerals, so elephants eat red clay for the same reasons humans take daily vitamins. It's just about the same thing, but only for elephants. See a few more of the baobab trees coming up. Some of them have punctures in them. Sometimes animals with tusks or horns will poke that tree just to get the water out of the middle of it. Because of that, the baobab is given the nickname Tree of Life. They look a bit different than the tree like you probably saw earlier today. Sometimes on hotter days, elephants come down to the watering hole on our left. They'll splash around a bit just to cool off. We were down here earlier today, but not seeing much at the moment. Yep. Way back there you see some elephants to our left.
Right here.
Looks like 3 or 4 of them. All in that one area. It is one of the better times of day to see African elephants. Usually in the morning and early afternoon, both pretty good times to see them. To our left, these are greater flamingos. They're called greater flamingos because they're larger than any other kind of flamingo. They get the pink color on their feathers from their diet. They eat a lot of shrimp, which is something called carotene. It turns their feathers pink. As I mentioned, they're fairly large birds. If one of them were to stand straight up with its neck fully extended, it could stand about 5 feet tall. And a group of flamingos like this is known as a flamboyance. Mud pits on our left usually mean that rhinos have been around here recently. Rhinos like to roll around in the mud for the same reasons we see animals like elephants using dirt and mud. So just to stay cooler and to keep the bugs off of them. Look down the pathway all the way at the end on our right side. There are some ostriches down there. Ostriches are the largest bird and the fastest bird. They have wings, but they can't use them to fly. They use them as a navigational guide to change directions quickly when they start running. Folks, I see at least one cheetah coming up. Look in this first yard to our left at the very top, you'll see one of those cheetahs. Actually, a couple of cheetahs walking around up there. So way up at the very top. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal. They can maintain speeds of around 60 miles per hour. And cheetahs can go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. That's just as fast as the launch of a rock and roller coaster. Just to put it into perspective. Looks like a couple more cheetahs in the second yard to our left. They're going to be at the very end. You'll see them when we pass by. So just to our left, right about now. Cheetahs are the only big cat that they're hunting during the daytime because their eyesight is a lot better during the day than it is at night. This rock formation on our left is called a kopie. Sometimes animals like lions will climb to the top of the kopie to scout prey. Lions will sleep for around 20 hours a day, so if we don't see them, it's very possible they're sleeping right now. Just conserving their energy for later tonight. Sometimes early in the morning and later in the evening we hear the lions start to roar. If we ever hear that, their roars can be heard from up to 5 miles away. Even if you guys are in Africa a bit later tonight, you hear something that sounds like a lion roaring, I promise you're not going crazy. So over to our right side, you're going to see some white rhinos. They're kind of back in that right corner, straight to the right just a bit. That's a group of rhinos up ahead. That's known as a crash of rhinos. We'll get a bit closer to those. Just around the corner. There's that male lion towards the back. Oh, the kopie just a bit too early for him right now. So lions and humans can see about equally during the daytime, but at nighttime the lions can see 6 times better than we can. So later tonight, can't quite see the lions. I can almost guarantee if they're awake, they can still see you. On our left, I see some warthogs. So look at that tree in the middle, and then look to the right of the tree. And to the left of the tree, on both sides of the tree. Warthogs are the largest burrowing animal. They like to back into their burrows for a couple different reasons. They have tusks, they point them outwards to ward off predators. But they also like taking burrows from other animals. They don't want to get stuck in someone else's burrow. You need to make sure they get in and out of there pretty quickly. Yeah. Those antelopes over to our right side, those reddish brown antelopes, those were bantabaks back there. One more look at those white rhinos. It's not a very good look at those. Still pretty close to us. But those bontaboks, they were extremely endangered at one point. Only 17 of those bontaboks remained in the world because of poaching. But some farmers noticed their numbers were diminishing. They stepped up and started breeding those antelopes, and they single-handedly saved that animal from extinction just by being aware. So anytime we talk about the bontabok, it is a conservation success story. We're now entering the last leg of the safari, which is Magadi Glen. Magadi translates to hot spring. There are some hot springs in the area. Sometimes animals will stop to get a drink of water or maybe just to rest along their journey. Animal coming up to our left side, this is a scimitar horned oryx to our left, this white and brown antelope. This oryx can go up to 9 months of the year without drinking any water. And it will not sweat until its internal body temperature reaches 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Guys, we had a pretty successful safari out there today. Got to see lots of animals roaming around. Several animals on the savannah were pretty active this afternoon. Definitely a success in my book. Here in just a couple moments, I'll be dropping you off at the edge of Harambe. The last safari leaves tonight at 8 o'clock. The park will also close at 8 o'clock. If you'd like to make a donation to the Disney Conservation Fund, you can do so at any gift shop at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Disney matches all donations that are made, so it's a quick and easy way to donate to conservation efforts if you choose to do so. If there are any wilderness explorers aboard today, you have been riding on the Simba 1, S-I-M-B-A, number 1. Friends, at this time, I'd like to remind you to gather up all of your personal belongings like cell phones, purses, wallets, cameras, and children. Don't want to leave anything behind here in Harambe. Trust me, it is a long walk back to Africa.